I'd like to get started and call the October 20th, 2010 at 5:40 in the evening City Council meeting to order. Dr. Ted Greer, pastor of Ebenezer Community Church, will give the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Lobos. Madam Clerk, call roll.
Councilman Burgess? Here. Councilwoman Lobos? Here. Councilman Maldonado? Councilman Shelley?
There.
Councilman Williams?
Here.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Here.
Mayor Bateman?
Here. All yours, sir.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for such a wonderful day. This is truly the day in which you have made. We come to rejoice and to be glad in it. We thank you for the mayor, vice mayor, council members. We thank you for this governing body. They're your servants, Father. We pray that you'll give them wisdom and understanding, love and compassion for this community. We dedicate this meeting to you, O God. May your presence be with us tonight. This I ask in your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Order on. March, please. Forward, march.
Please be seated. I'd like to open the meeting with public comments. Now is the time to come up and state your name and address if you have public comment.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. My name is Wes Copeland. I'm the Vice Chairman for the IBW 359-2. My address is 20221 Southwest 318th Street. I'm here tonight to ask the Council that along with the union could form a Labor Relations Committee. The union tried this with Mayor Bell and it never got off the ground. I'd like to see Mayor Bateman chair this committee, but we're open to suggestions. I think this would be a great way for the Mayor and Council to hear issues and suggestions from employees at the street level.
I'm all for it. So what we'll do is open the floor for any discussion from council at this point, and then what I'll do is instruct the city attorney to draft the proper agreement that we need, a proper board that we need. Okay? What do you figure? Maybe 6 to 7 people?
Sure. From all aspects of the job.
Okay. Will 7 cover all aspects?
I believe so.
Okay. Any comment from council at this point? Okay, Richard, what I'd like you to do is go to work on that and put together a 7-member, body that we can, between the two of us, figure out how we're going to select that committee, all right?
Talk about how you want to select the membership.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Copeland.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Bateman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman. I'm Barbara St. Alvin, president of This Is the Dog. We are a nonprofit animal rescue group and adoption organization based out of Homestead. We're having an event this Saturday night, which we're going to talk about. I just wanted to touch very briefly on what we do, because there's somewhat of a misconception about who we are. Can I get a show of hands who's heard of This Is the Dog? Any of you in the audience? Okay. Very briefly, we rescue a lot of the stray animals that are on the streets of Homestead. We can manage about 10 at a time. We're all volunteer group. We do not get paid for it. All the money that goes into This Is the Dog pays for medical and boarding for all the animals. And then we show at Petco here in Homestead 2 Saturdays a month, the 1st and 3rd, and try and get them good homes. So that's what we do for the community. We probably take in about 200 to 300 dogs a year, and that's very good. We're a volunteer group of about 10 consistent volunteers with many, we have Elizabeth here tonight, student volunteers. We also provide community service hours for our high school students and middle school students. Now to touch on our event. How many of you have dogs? Okay, if you don't, we can get you one, all right? Our our web address, www.thisisthedog.com. We're having a yappy hour at the White Lion restaurant. The address is on our flyer, which we're going to put some at the door. It's a very quaint restaurant owned by Lori Swank here in Homestead. We're going to have food, fun. It's set this Saturday, October 23rd. It's a Halloween event, so you can come in costume, bring your dog on leash. The dog can come in costume as well. I'll be dressed. I won't tell you what I'm going to be just yet. We're going to have contests, a silent auction. Many of the donations are from local businesses, and we appreciate that if any of you are here tonight. So come out and have a great time. It's $5 at the door. Families are $10. We had one in March and May, and we had about 250 people there. It was quite an event, more than we expected. So we hope to see some of you there. Vice Mayor Waldman was there?
Yes, and I have to tell you, my Molly Sue has her costume ready. I don't have a costume yet, but she has her costume ready to come Saturday night. So we look forward.
We're going to have a great time.
I've been practicing with her.
That's awesome. Any questions very briefly? Quickly? Yes. We do, yes. Yes, we do. Yeah, you can get our flyer and then just email us and we'll help you out as best we can. Okay? She asked about spay-neuter, which on the back of the flyer there's some information there, okay? So please remember, spay-neuter your pets. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of our young volunteers wants to say something. Say it. We're going to read it. Spay-neuter your pet.
Thank you.
All right, good job.
Good evening, Ed Powell, 2274 Southeast 27th Drive. I would just like to make a comment. Sherelle Burgess, if you happen to go out to Homestead Hospital on occasion, you will see Sherelle with her dog, and she parades around the hospital, and she has the dog interact with the patient, and I see her out there every week. So just to give her a hand. I drive the courtesy cart out there as well. So. She won't take a ride from me. And Vice Mayor Waldman, am I allowed to steal your thunder?
Please, you are the thunder and the lightning.
You may have heard every year Orlando Lopez, who has a listing exchange group of realtors, he hosts a Little Angel Foundation Halloween party that goes to funds for the Little Angel Foundation, which Vice Mayor Judy Waldman and her husband started 7-8 years ago, and where I'm lucky enough with my wife Clara to be on the board. And over those 7 or 8 years, I think we raised over $500,000 for special needs families, autistic families, etc. And I just wanted to point out the Halloween party will be October 30th. And this year we're having it at the Royal Palace Banquet Center, which is at the Galileo Shopping Center, and it's across from Lowe's. It's $50 a person, and that's hors d'oeuvres, dinner, drinks all night, band, costumes, a lot of fun. So if you get an opportunity, please come out, and there may be a banner we were going to try to put out, of course, at Harris Field. So please come out. It's for a good cause, and it's a good time. And I have some postcards here for the city council. The last item, Councilman Maldonado, 2 months ago at this meeting, I showed everybody our utility bill, which has $1.02 hurricane recovery fee. Well, Councilman Maldonado asked the city how much it cost us during the 4 or 5 years ago, fiasco we had with hurricanes. I don't think we got that number, but if I look at, I saw a number that said we have 34,000 utility customers. If I take $1 a month times 34,000 times 12 months times what, 4 years since we've had a hurricane, that's a couple $1 million. It's at least $1 million. So we're either well funded, or maybe we should look at maybe suspend that for a while. Knock on wood, we might get out of this season without any hurricanes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pump.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. My name is Alex Diaz de Villegas, 1355 Waterstone Way. When I last came here, I spoke about the Homestead utilities and the very suspicious high bill that a lot of residents in Homestead got, specifically in the month of September. Since then, I want to report my minor investigation that I have met with the director, Ms. Barbara Quinones, who was very instrumental in explaining to me exactly how everything works. I appreciate her professionalism. She also expressed that despite what's been told several times over, Homestead Electric is more expensive than FPL. In my particular bill in September, it was $27 more with Homestead Electric than it was with FPL. The other point I'd like to make is that since then, many more residents have come forward to me and told me that they have also found this strange bill in the month of September. So I ask that you keep please contacting me, because I'm still investigating more things. They did arrange a energy survey, which I thought was very professional. Pro Energy Consultants. They spent 3 hours at my house taking it apart. It's an extremely good service, and they also think it's kind of odd. The peak, it's way off. In the last 36 months, they looked at all my bills. They think it's way off. I have asked to speak to the Director of General Services, Mr. Jerry Estrada, and hopefully I'll be meeting with him soon about the building and the meter readers. More homeowners have contacted me. I mentioned that. And I asked last time if the City of Homestead would be conducting an audit. I never got a response from that or some type of investigation. I don't think it's fair that a resident has to take his time and money and expenses pulling public records for something that is obviously a city function. And I also learned something very interesting. $5 million of profit from Homestead Electric supports 100% of the city's general services department, which includes IT, procurement, HR, special projects, and customer service and fleet management. An additional $3 million of that profit also goes to the general revenue. I believe this is an unfair tax on the citizens of Homestead that have Homestead Electric versus the citizens of Homestead that don't have Homestead Electric. In the case of Waterstone, half of Waterstone is on FPL, the other half is on Homestead Electric. So in essence, everyone's receiving these services, these $8 million of services, yet only the people paying Homestead Electric are actually paying for those services. To me, that's an unfair tax. I also learned that $3.47 stormwater utility fee for maintenance of the storm drains, yet most of the CDDs and HOAs already maintain their own storm drains. That I also believe is an unfair fee, considering that we're paying double for the same thing. We're managing our own storm drains, yet we're paying for that as well. The investigation continues, but I ask and implore anybody to come forward to me. I've had many calls from especially Homestead employees that have a lot of interesting information, and more will come in the future. Thank you for your time.
Rocco de Benedetto, 413 Northwest 13th Street. At the last meeting, there was some question as to whether or not I had actually received a letter threatening that our company, if we step foot on a couple locations, the city of Homestead will be arrested. And on the record, I just wanted to receive confirmation that I did actually receive that letter. Is that something you can confirm? Mayor?
Did you bring it?
I'm certain that you received a copy.
Sorry, I apologize. Is there something else you want to elaborate on? Go ahead. I mean, you got 3 minutes.
What are the qualifications that it takes to develop a scope of work for a job in the city of Homestead? If we're going to spend hundreds of thousands of the city's dollars, what kind of criteria do you have to have in order to be the author of a specific scope of work?
I think that is best answered by Jerry Estrada.
So that I don't waste all my 3 minutes, because I have one more question. Can we hold on that answer? For a public records request, I put in a public records request for some cameras that were mounted on top of the water towers. The city attorney, I received an email back from Sherry telling me that the city attorney said that they don't have to comply with that it's not my business. But as a resident of the city of Homestead, I do feel that it's my business as to what was the intention of those cameras, what was the amount spent on those cameras, and do those cameras actually function? So I don't know if you guys can provide me that information, but I feel that I have the right, as a resident of the city of Homestead, to receive that information.
Yes, I'm not familiar with that particular request, but I'd be glad to check into it and find out why if it's a public record, then you're entitled to it, and you should get it. If it's not, then we should tell you why. So I'll check on it for you.
To answer his first question,
Well,
it's really directed to your firm.
with respect to the thing, and I also would also defer to the police chief. What happened is that the gentleman had a contract with the city. If the contract was at an end, he made some representations as he was going to come on to the property and try to work on the air conditioning. We discussed this with the police, and he was told that if he came on without authorization, he would be trespassing. And in conjunction working with the police department, we told him that if you come on the property without authorization, then you'd be trespassing and you'd be subject to arrest. And that's what we would tell anybody who came onto the property without authorization. So that's what happened. I mean, if you consider that a threat, then I apologize that it was taken that way, but it was just the fact that we worked out with the. That's sort of where we ended up after discussing this with the police department.
Thank you.
But as the city attorney, there's a contract in place. So if that contract isn't adhered to and the process isn't followed properly, then if the termination is not an accurate termination, we're still contracted to work for the city of Homestead.
I also would tell you that we received a letter today from this gentleman's attorney basically threatening suit. And so, I mean, I'd be glad to discuss.
We filed suit yesterday.
Okay, so then I don't think that the council should discuss this. I didn't receive a copy of the suit, but I don't think it should be further discussed publicly.
Okay. And the second question, Mr. Abrio, you're going to get that done? The water tower cameras or whatever? Okay.
And my question is general services.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, with regard to scope of services for any agreement, it's usually determined by the individual departments which are requiring the work done. Sometimes the decision is made by the department to go outside and get expertise, opinion as to what the scope of work should be. Sometimes the department itself has the manpower and the appropriate knowledge to go ahead and put the scope of work together. Procurement doesn't put the scope of work together. Once again, each individual department who's doing the projects put their scope of work together. I hope that answers your question.
Not really. Is there a dollar threshold where maybe we shouldn't be spending money if we don't have an expert developing? I mean, I'm an air conditioning contractor, and I know a lot about air conditioning, and I brought it to the city's attention that maybe some of the projects we were putting out, they weren't developed properly, yet the city moved forward and moved on with the projects. So if we are going to base our decision on who's going to do the job on the lowest bidder, and that is the decision that's made, is who will do the job the cheapest. If we're not
Mr. Mayor, I don't really want to cut
specific.
the gentleman off, but he has already advised us that he's filed suit against the city.
Well, this is a totally different matter. So I have filed suit in
I don't
one
know
case.
what you filed suit against the city about, but and again, I want to be as respectful as I can, but I don't want Mr. Estrada responding to questions that are about the lawsuit.
And this isn't really the proper form right now. You can...
Please don't take this the wrong way, but I've begged you guys to meet with me. So I'll go sit down, but I have begged you to talk with me, and you're not responsive. So I guess the only thing I can do is sue the city. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I will also tell the council I spoke with the clerk, and the public records requested certain security information regarding the towers, and that was dealt with them to be something that was exempt from the public records law because it dealt with the security issue.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll close the public comments, and we're going to move to additions, deletions, and deferrals before we move on to special presentations. Do we have any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, we do have one request for deferment. Its item is tab 18 regarding the water supply plan. We'd like to defer that to November 17th.
Item 18.
It's item 8, triple I.
Oh, okay. Okay. At this time, I'd like to move into special presentations. I'd like to take them a little bit.
We get a motion.
Okay, I'm sorry. A motion to move that forward to these deletions, deferrals. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Right. I'd like to move into special presentations, and this time I'd like to take them a little bit out of order, if I could, as the Alzheimer's monthly proclamation needs to go first. The individual who's here may come forward, and Councilman Lobos, if you will handle that for the council, please. You're welcome, sir.
Mayor, before we proceed, just because of the AC units, if we could ask all council and anyone speaking to please speak up, because I've seen some of the citizens in the audience kind of wondering if they could hear us or not, so thank you.
No problem. Good evening, everybody. And we have Mr. Sussman here, who will be speaking more on the Alzheimer's activities that are taking place in our city and in the area. But I've been asked by the mayor tonight to present a proclamation. November will be the month that we highlight and focus on the disease of Alzheimer's. And I went on the website because I wanted to see what some recent activities or information said about it. And I thought that one of the interesting things from the 2010 Alzheimer's Disease Facts and Figures report that just came out highlights that African Americans and Hispanics are at a higher risk for developing Alzheimer's. African Americans are about twice as likely to have Alzheimer's than whites, and Hispanics are about 1.5 times more likely than whites to develop the disease. And while those two groups have a higher risk for the disease, they are the ones that do not seek a diagnosis, and most likely because we tend to ignore the early symptoms of Alzheimer's. And so that's one of the facts that I did want to highlight today, and I'm sure that Mr. Sussman will focus more on that. But here we have a proclamation for you, and it says, Alzheimer's is a terrible disease which has a major impact on the physical, financial, and emotional lives of the great many of the citizens of Homestead. As many as 5.3 million Americans are now living with Alzheimer's disease, and every 71 seconds another person is diagnosed, causing untold misery and hardship to the victims and their families, loved ones, and caregivers. The Alzheimer's Association is the largest private, non-profit funder of the Alzheimer's disease research in the U.S. and is moving closer to accurate diagnostic tools, meaningful treatments, and a cure. So whereas the Alzheimer's Association is here today, encouraging the citizens of Homestead to help Homestead win the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine Miami-Dade's Alzheimer's City competition by participating in the Alzheimer's Association 2010 Miami-Dade Memory Walk on Saturday, November 13, 2010 at Merritt Park in Coral Gables by starting a team, joining a team, being an individual walker, volunteering, or donating at www.memorywalks.com. So whereas it is appropriate that a day be set aside to encourage our residents to act now to end Alzheimer's, open their minds to learn the facts about Alzheimer's, voice their support, and move the Alzheimer's Association cause forward. So whereas the Mayor and the City Council of Homestead wish to show their support for the goals to the Alzheimer's Association, Mayor Stephen Bateman, Mayor of the City of Homestead, Florida, do hereby proclaim the 13th day of November 2010 as Alzheimer's Association Miami-Dade Memory Walk Day 2010.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to say the thing that makes every speaker popular. I'll be brief. I'm going to make a promise, and I'm going to ask a question.
My promise is that someone who can hear me now knows firsthand what I mean when I say that it doesn't get much worse than when you look into the eyes of your mother or your father, your spouse or your significant other, or God forbid, your child, and they don't know who you are. That's what Alzheimer's does. We're talking about a disease that's always fatal, between 2 and 20 years from the time of diagnosis to the time of death. I can promise you what I said because 1 out of 2 people over 85 will get Alzheimer's. 1 out of 8 people over 65 will get Alzheimer's, and the incidence of early onset Alzheimer's under 65 is increasing, and no one knows why. We must beat this disease. We can do it by doing what you folks do here, by working together. One of the ways we're trying to get people to work together with us is the walk we're having on Saturday, November 13th. To spice it up, as the councilwoman said, we have the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine Miami-Dade Alzheimer's City Challenge. I brought the trophy here. The city with the highest percentage of its population participating in the walk will win that trophy and be able to display it for a year until the next walk and the next winter. We need you. We need each other. My question is, who's next? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And before you leave, I share with you it is probably the worst disease that is here on this earth. And I lost my mother at age 69, and she had Alzheimer's from 64 to 69, and it was brutal. It's the worst. Thank you for what you did. We've got several other presentations here this evening. I'd like to start with the first one, which these individuals helped us beautify our city. You know, we asked for some help, and out of nowhere, I renamed this individual. His name is Albert Livingston, but he's renamed the Tree God because he truly is the Tree God of Homestead. This individual took the time to track me down and take me to breakfast. I bought breakfast, right, Albert? And I listened to his story. He said, I want to go to work for the city. I want to work for the city for free. I own a big nursery out in the Redlands, and I have a lot of friends in the nursery business that want to help. We've heard your call, and we want to help beautify. We want to help, aesthetically improve the looks of the city. We are probably the largest ornamental horticulture group in, if not Florida, the United States here in South Dade County. So they went to work. I can tell you that the dollar amount that they donated in trees totaled about the dollar amount and the installation totaled about $190,000. And the reason I mention the dollar amount, because that seems to get people's attention more than just saying they planted 400 trees. They planted 400 15 to 20 foot oak trees in our thoroughfares and our medians at absolutely no cost to the city. Absolutely no cost to the city. And at this time, what I'd like to do is recognize those nurseries who donated the trees to the city of Homestead that Albert went and picked up and spent a month. He spent a month digging holes in these beautiful oak trees. And the first one tonight I'd like to mention is Acosta Farms. And as I mention your name, if you'll come up, we have something nice for you. Acosta Farms, thank you, and please come up. Reeds Acosta Farms, for your generosity and contribution to the beautification of our city. The City of Homestead salutes you, sir. Agra Brothers. Are the Agra Brothers here tonight? Really pretty much the same thing. For your generosity and contribution to the beautification of our city. The City of Homestead salutes you. Caribbean Tree Farm. Sir, just wait up here with us. We're going to do one nice photo op. We made this lady stay late tonight to take pictures. Caribbean Tree Farm. Again, thank you, sir, for your generosity, contribution to beautification of the City of Homestead. Thank you, sir. Fry Farms. Thank you for your generosity and contributions to beautification of the City of Homestead. Medallion Tree Farms. Medallion Tree Farms Incorporated, for your generosity and contribution to the beautification of our city. The City of Homestead salutes you, sir. Botanics Wholesale Nursery. Botanics Wholesale Nursery, for your generosity and contribution to the beautification of our city. The City of Homestead salutes you, sir. Alger Farms is the last one, and is there anyone from, I understand Alger's was not going to make it tonight. Alger Farms donated 200 oak trees, and we're very thankful for that. The last donor did not donate trees, but he donated what we need to make those trees grow. The company, Co-op Products Service, Bobby Shekels, they donated 400 pounds of Osmocote fertilizer to feed those trees. Co-op Production Services Incorporated, for your generosity and contribution to the beautification of our city. The City of Homestead salutes you, sir. I want the high school this time. Okay, what I'd like to do is get an overall picture of these individuals, please. Bobby, come back and stand with all the tree farm people. You want to stand in front of the council? How about, let's go up. Sir? We got something special. Okay, I was going to do Albert's last but not least, but okay, we'll hold off. We'll get it. Albert was the mechanism behind all this that made it work. And again, I go back to saying he's a tree god because he was so persistent and so dedicated to what he wanted to accomplish. And he said from the bottom of his heart, I just want to drive through Homestead one day and I want to look up and say, wow, I'm part of all this beautiful tree canopy. I'm part of this tree canopy here in Homestead. And the guy touched my heart. I have to tell you, Albert, I carry my rock usually, maybe I carry it 6 out of 7 days a week, but tonight for some reason I don't have that lucky rock he gave me. So with that said, would you please come up? Okay. Albert Livingston Tree Farm. I got something a little special for you, and we don't usually give this away. This is a very, very special plaque. It is a key to the city, and it's a beautiful plaque. Albert Livingston Tree Farms, for your generosity and contribution and efforts to the beautification of the City of Homestead. The City of Homestead salutes you, sir. all of us, Stephen C. Bateman, Vice Mayor Judy Wallman, Councilman John Burgess, Councilman Wendy Lobos, Councilman Elvis Maldonado, Councilman Stephen Shelley, Councilman Jimmy Williams III. We truly appreciate what you've done, and since you started this effort, we get calls from time to time of people who want to donate more trees. They're not always the trees we want, but it's nice that they want to give back to their community. And with that said, sir, you led the charge. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And I think you see the fruits of your labor. I think the audience sees the fruits of their labor when you drive down Campbell, you drive down 162, you drive down 328. The fruits of the labor are there. Thank you all once again. This next proclamation goes to an individual that again went above and beyond the call of duty to his neighbors and the citizens of Homestead. And I'd like to ask Tommy Pritchard to come up tonight. Lieutenant Pritchard, please come up. I don't know, not to bring up old and bad news, but there was a shooting in Homestead several months back, and home invasion, and a gentleman was shot. And there were 5 bad guys, and 4 bad guys were actually arrested that evening. I believe it's 3 to 4 bad guys were arrested that evening. And the reason they were arrested so easily that evening is a off-duty City of Miami police officer by the name of Sean Dorselli. Sean, would you come up? Sean Dorselli got involved, and he ratted them out. He directed our police officers to where to go and what to do. And before I read his proclamation, I'd just like to have Lieutenant Pritchard just say a few words on behalf.
I'd just like everybody to know if it wasn't for this man's involvement, these apprehensions would have never been possible. Because of him, we apprehended 3 subjects, and our K-9 units found the weapon. I think if every citizen got involved, this would be such a great city. But I'd like to take this opportunity and just thank him for getting involved and helping us. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I'm going to let you read from my bigger version. Whereas Sean Dorselli is a City of Miami detective and lives in Valley Development, the Oasis community. Whereas Sean Dorselli has been instrumental with corralling crime in Oasis community and diligently serving the City of Homestead and the Oasis community by always saying, "I can do." Whereas Sean Dorselli is the Homeowners Association president of Valley and has always led the security effort. Whereas Sean Dorselli spent countless hours patrolling the Valley neighborhood, reporting incidences, and trying to keep the neighborhood safe from all and its inspirers. Whereas Sean Dorselli recently put his life on the line to arrange the arrest of key suspects that had burglarized the neighbors on a number of occasions. Now, therefore, I, Stephen C. Bateman, the mayor of Homestead, Florida, do hereby proclaim, and I recently had given him this, that he's been very, very ill. So it was on October 5th, 2010, that I produced this, but Sean Dorselli had a little setback and was in the hospital for a while. So, Sean Dorselli, we thank you for what you've done. And Sean and I have become good friends. Sean and I talk, a couple times a month, and he's always got some great ideas. This next presentation is to a very special lady, Alita Crow. Alita Crow was born in Havana, Cuba. James, you want to just wait till the end to bring up Alita? Okay. Alita Crow was born in Havana, Cuba on September 12th. She has called Homestead her home since 1929. She graduated from Homestead High School in 1933. Graduated from Florida State College for women at the time in 1937 with a major in Spanish. Her late husband, Dr. Robert Crow, who I knew very well, was a local dentist for 55 years in Homestead, and for a while was the only dentist from Key West to Miami. Mrs. Crow recently turned 95 years old, and tonight she is here with us, and I just want to say happy birthday and bring you some. Stay there, I'll come to you. Certificate of Recognition. This certificate is awarded to Alita Crow. The City of Homestead wishes you a very happy 95th birthday. I didn't mean to leave it out, Alita, but she's a countess, right? Countess Alita Crow. I'd like to next call up the Marine Corps. The two Marine officers who were here last week. I met with the Marine Corps, Sergeant Edward Jean Francois and Sergeant Ralph Panlua. Would you both come up, please? I know they can't actually be on TV. It's a Marine policy. But the Marine Corps, the purpose of our meeting was that they came to me for up-and-coming Marine Corps ball. They're trying to raise the money that they need to put this Marine Corps ball on. And it's in remembrance of the birthday of the Marine Corps and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. It is also a formal affair where Marines of the past and present come to reflect their honor on those formerly serving, as well as the ones who have passed, celebrating and interacting with the community. This year, the Marine Corps Ball will be held at the Hard Rock Cafe on November 5th, and the Marines need our help to try to raise enough money for this ball to happen. The cost is $133 per person, and I'm going to make the first offer as the mayor of Homestead, and I'm going to give you my $260-something to buy. You two guys are tickets for sure, all right? Phone number on here? I was going to give you a copy. Just going to announce the phone number for those of you who wanted to help. Also, on a quick note before I close, is we also have involved ourselves as a city and as the mayor to adopt a soldier program. And this is the Army that came again this month and asked us, would we involve ourselves and adopt the soldier program. The gentleman is Captain Chris C. Pardo, and his phone number is 305-591-8812. And this Adopt a Soldier program is an adoption process of local men and women who are here at Homestead Air Force Base awaiting their next, mission. So these are men and women that are here without their families, and we'd like to reach out and be a pen pal, become a pen pal, offer, whatever information that they're looking for. So with that said, it's on our website now, Adopt a Soldier program, and you can contact Chris Pardo at the website and or that phone number. Is that the phone number? Again, I was going to give you the phone number for the viewing audience for the Marine Corps Ball, 305-525-4626. That's 305-525-4626. And thank you very much. That concludes my presentation. I swear I wouldn't try. I just they loaded up on. Okay, John. Yeah. John Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows in November we had the Veterans Day Parade here as a tradition, one of our great traditions that the city helps with and puts on every year with the VFW now. And tonight we have some representatives from the VFW that would like to come up and talk about the Veterans Day Parade that will be occurring next month. So if I could have their representatives come up and talk, I certainly would appreciate it. There's retired and active military here both. So, Phil, take it away. Thanks.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is William Tebow. I live in the Fairways, 2835 Fairways Drive. I'm retired Coast Guard, and I'd like to introduce Senior Master Sergeant Stahl, who's the VFW Post Commander, and Louis Malaire, retired firefighter for Dade County. And Louis and myself are the coordinators for the parade. We've already made our request to the city for our parade, and we have an approval for a flyover signed by the city manager. And we hope to have as big a crowd as we've had in the past. Last year was really a strange day for the parade. From 9:30 till 11:55, it rained like men. And at 12 o'clock sharp, it stopped raining for the entire parade till 1 o'clock, 1:30, where we then dispersed. I just wanted to say, Senior Master Sergeant did the right thing. He prayed to the rain god, he stopped, and we had a great parade. We hope to have the same thing this year, and the invitations are in the public domain. We had the rules and the application placed in the news leader last Friday and in the Miami Herald on the neighbors section, and we'll probably do it again. You can make a special request for that application through myself and Louis, I'm sorry to say, at the Kai's Company, through our email or my phone number, and we'll email you an application so that we can line you up with the other applications that we already have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Yeah, and she should be standing right there. Right. Yes, she's right. The next presentation, Dade Medical College presentation, Vice Mayor Wallman. Thank you, Mr. Burgess.
I'm sorry, we're having a hard time hearing, but I hope can you hear me? Okay, good. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to do tonight is announce the Kindness Awards. And the Kindness Awards, I started them back in 2002 in honor of the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Andrew. And in the appreciation for the sincere and warm kindness that was shown to our city during one of its darkest hours. And over the last few weeks, residents and business owners were invited to send letters to me, excuse me, detailing a unique act of kindness. shown to them by a friend, neighbor, coworker, teacher, student, or even a stranger. The winners have been selected by me, and we are here to recognize those outstanding individuals. And first of all, I'd like to introduce to you Clara and Ed Powell. They are previous Kindness Award winners, I think one of my first, and so deserving. They volunteer everywhere.
Everything.
Everywhere. So we love you and thank you so much for all that you do. The first honoree tonight, yes, please, they deserve it. Now, I'm told this one is a real surprise. So, the first honoree tonight is Barbara St. Aubin. With Save the Dog. Barbara. And Sherelle Burgess, Mrs. Burgess, and John, please come forward, and anybody else who's here with Save the Dog. Because, come here, Barbara. She's always hanging back in the background. She's one of my favorite people. She doesn't know it probably, but she's one of my very favorite people. You're welcome. She is a resident and founder of the local nonprofit Save the Dog, and she talked quite a bit about it when she was up here before. But I just want you to know, she's the leader, and these are all volunteers, and I can't tell you how many times Councilman Burgess has told me that he's fostering a dog in her house. You know, what special people you are. Because my husband's a veterinarian, and we love animals, and I can't tell you how many animals need homes. And I know we talk a lot about our children and we talk about other things, but the animals have no defense. And Barbara, you really paved the way and set the goal, and I'm so very, very proud of you. So with that being said, Barbara St. Aubin, there are heroes living amongst us. In acknowledgement and appreciation for your act of kindness, the City of Homestead salutes you. Presented August 20th, 2010. There you go. Put your hand down. Congratulations. Do you want to say something else about that? Spay neuter again? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Little John had Bible study, so we had to do that so he could get on. Next, I'd like to ask Dr. Ted Greer from the Ebenezer Community Church Ministry to come forward, because he had two nominees and a wonderful, wonderful story that you will certainly enjoy. Dr. Greer.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Our ministry, Ebenezer Community Church, just moved to Homestead from the Goulds area back in July. Actually, our first service was July 4th, Sunday, July 4th. We were all dressed in red, white, and blue, and we just had a wonderful time here in Homestead. And what I said to the congregation was, we're coming to Homestead. I believe God directed us to Homestead to do some work, to get busy, not to sit and to be focused on a building, but really get out in the community and minister to the unmet needs. And so that's what we try to do every day. And so I nominated some folks in our congregation who I think went over and beyond what I would expect the call of duty in this ministry. And so I'm glad they were approved. Sure. Okay. Gotcha. All right, the nominees are, first, we have Ms. Judith Duclaw Fletcher. Would you come on down, Judith? And following her, representing Alvin Frazier, a brother in our ministry, his wife, he is working tonight, but his wife is here, Trinice Frazier. And next we have my brother, and his name is Beverly Greer. and I'm happy that my dad named me Ted. Next is another brother in our ministry, Brother Travis Lowry. And following him is Sister Latasha Hort. And we have one more who just came in last night from New Jersey. She's a little tired, Sister Senda Smith. She's not with us tonight, but I'm asking Lynette N. Brown to come and stand in for her tonight. And let me just share with you the story. These individuals, we had a big grand opening, introducing ourselves to the city of Homestead back in August, and we had some 700 plus people showed up to our surprise. It was a nice welcome to the community, and included in that 700 were people that were homeless, people that were hungry, and one of those gentlemen is here with us tonight, and thus the nominations. These people went over and beyond to engage this gentleman and others that day of our grand opening, and since then, Lloyd Dillon, would you come? This is the gentleman who was homeless. But he's homeless no more. This is, come here, Lloyd. This is Lloyd Dillon. Lloyd came in that day dirty, smelly, stinky, all of the above. Had long hair, stringy hair, and so he cleaned up pretty well. But these individuals, somebody said it takes a village to raise a family, but it took this village right here to engage this young man. Lloyd came in, as I said, homeless, and these ladies and gentlemen all played a role in getting his life back together. First, Judith and Natasha, that same day at the grand opening, just sat with him, began to find out what's going on with him, how we can help make a difference. Subsequently, we got him off the street. My brother Bev, who was operations manager for a cleaning company in this community, hired Lloyd full-time. Full-time. He has not only he's off the street, not only has a place to live, but full-time employment as a professional now in the community. And Alvin, who Trinice is representing, who was unemployed at the time, Alvin every day would take Lloyd around for appointments or dropping him off here and there. Judith was instrumental in securing housing, Latasha as well. Travis is a barber. And so Travis was the one that says, look, I'll take care of that long, stringy, dirty hair and clean him up and give that nice little shave that he has now. So that's the role they all play. Senda, who's not here tonight, helped Lloyd with all the clothing, all the suits and shirts, and I mean, he's a different man, and we're just so happy that we're able to make a difference in him and many others through the ministry. I want to give Lloyd an opportunity to say something.
There's not a whole lot I can say. Sorry, Vice Mayor. There's not a whole lot that I can say. These folks standing right here, God gave these folks to me as a blessing on August 14th of this year. I can't say anything, but I love them and God bless them all.
Lloyd was since baptized and became a member of our church 3 weeks ago, so we're celebrating with him.
And Lloyd, I just want to say that I met you. I met you when you were just rescued by these angels, and I don't know if you have any of these or room on your wall, but plenty of room. But Lloyd Dillon, in acknowledgement of your outstanding accomplishment for such a good citizen, the city of Homestead salutes you. Congratulations. And I want to say a special thank you to Dr. Greer. What a blessing he is. He is a good shepherd. Let me just say that. He's a wonderful blessing, and thank you all so much. And I don't know how we're going to get a good picture, but we're going to do it. And the tall one's in the back, and you know where I always am. And the short.
I want to say that we're right off Washington Avenue in the midst of a Latin community. And our ministry has evolved into implementing a Hispanic ministry. We have what we call Ebenezer Hispanic Ministry. And the pastor for our Hispanic ministry is here, and I want her to stand and be recognized. You'll see a lot of her. This is Pastor Blanca Santiago. So we're looking forward to her leadership, leading our Hispanic ministry. Thank you for being here, Pastor. God bless.
Okay, let me get caught up here. The next award winner is a friend of mine. And I'd like to ask Sue Ness and her husband to come forward, please. And I'll talk a little bit about her as she comes forward. Sue moved to Florida in 1954 from Massachusetts. She met and married Charles, my buddy Charles, and at the time Charles had 8 children and Sue had 2 children. So they raised 10 children. But during that time of raising 10 children, they opened their hearts, their unselfish hearts, and they took in babies, abandoned babies, and fostered them. And these babies were sometimes addicted to drugs, the mothers were, and they were just wonderful, alcohol, all kinds of things. And she placed them in her home, and she loved them like no mother could ever love a child. So not only did Sue do all of those things, but she continues to volunteer her time at the community center. She cooks, she serves lunches, she just does everything. And every time I go over there, she's over there doing something. So with that being said, Sue, I honor you today with the Kindness Award.
Well, I'm very happy to be here in Homestead, and I've enjoyed it every move since we lived down here. We're very happy and love the community and people in it.
We love Sue.
So, thank you.
Okay, those are the Kindness Awards of 2010, and I can tell you I'm very, very proud of each and every one of them. And thank you so much for participating and sending in your nominations. You never know, that random act of kindness may come back to reward you someday. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Crystal Ruiz. She's my little girlfriend. And Crystal is Miss Homestead Outstanding Teen 2010. We've gone very attached to each other. She's a South 8 senior high school student, an honor student, by the way, and captain of the JV cheerleaders, and she started her own project, Care Packages, for at-risk children in collaboration with Meat Stuff to help at-risk children with school items. So, Crystal, it's all yours.
Good evening, everyone. I am Crystal Ruiz, Miss Homestead's Outstanding Teen for the year 2010. I am very pleased to be here, and I want to thank the Council Committee for having me. I enjoy helping my community, volunteering my time with Knee Stuff Incorporated, which is part of a volunteer network through Hands on Miami, and getting involved wherever is needed. Knee Stuff helps at-risk children with books to read, shoes that fit them properly, new underclothing, and a new pair of jeans to help lift their spirits. I have started Crystal's Care Packages in partnership with Knee Stuff Incorporated to help at-risk children in our community with school items and clothing. Sponsors and donations are needed, so I may proceed with Crystal's Care Packages. $50 will get each child 5 polo tops, 3 pants, 5 underwears, 5 pairs of socks, all in a big backpack. My goal is to get as many sponsors and donations as possible by Thanksgiving, so I may distribute the care packages by Christmas. Please help me reach my goal, and I may help all at-risk children in our community and put a big smile on their faces for Christmas. I have put together 2 documents that address my project in detail, and I would really appreciate that you consider reading it and getting back to me with a response. Thank you again so much for your time.
Please help her. This child is so dedicated and so sincere. She does so many things for the community that she doesn't even talk about. I keep track of her through Papa over there. So please help her, and I know I'm going to help her. So I encourage each and every one of you to step up to the plate. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Okay, we're kind of skipping around a little bit tonight, so bear with me. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Michael Mooch. He's with Dade Medical College. Michael, please come forward. Michael and I are working on a project together, and he will go into detail, I'm sure. So, Michael, please.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Moot. I'm representing Dade Medical College tonight, and at the invitation of Vice Mayor Waldman, I came here to speak to you a little bit about our paint campaign, which is going on right now. As you may or may not know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and in that spirit, the school decided to launch our Go Pink campaign, whereby we turned our website pink to try to create some awareness. We're doing some fundraising for the Susan G. Komen Foundation. We're conducting a series of health fairs around the community. And most importantly, we decided to purchase 300 mammography screenings from partner hospitals in the area and donate them to women in our community. Now, what we're looking for is women who are most in need. And what I mean by that is the candidates cannot have health insurance currently, and they cannot be receiving any Medicaid or Medicare from the federal government. Now, that's pretty much it. There's the mammography screenings, we're giving them out on a first-come, first-served basis. I can tell you we've committed to giving out about half of them, but there's still an opportunity for anyone who's interested to come on to give us a call, and we'll be more than glad to help you schedule one. I can give you my office number, and that's the best way to reach us and to do this, and that is 305-644-1171. I'll repeat that for you. It's 305-644-1171. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at the office, or you can reach me by email through our website, and that's www.dademedical.edu. I'll say that again, www.dademedical.edu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Because Michael contacted me some time ago, and my mom's been in the hospital for the last 2 weeks, very, very ill, and my husband's sister passed away this past week. I wasn't able to meet with him, but he knows that I'm there for him, and I think that Dade Medical College has done a random act of kindness. So I'd like to present you with a kindness award, Michael. Thank you. Thank you. And you all know how I feel about October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I can tell you there are many blue-collar workers and people that just can't afford health insurance, and I beg you, if you need a mammogram, you call me and I'll get you in touch with Michael. And it's so important. Early detection does save lives, and I thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much for all that you do. Next, I'd like to have Claudia Diaz from the American Cancer Society come forward, please. And there's our buddies, Michael. And I don't know if Claudia realizes this, but I was chair of the Relay for Life for many years and president of the South Bay Board of the Cancer Society for about 8 years, and worked very, very hard with them, and still do. I still do. And Michael, I'm going to help you. You guarantee I'm going to be on that committee. So I'd like to introduce Claudia.
Yes. Well, the American Cancer Society recently had our 2010 Board Awards banquet, and the City of Homestead was recognized as a community partner. So I, as the community representative for the City of Homestead, I am here to present this award to you guys. For 12 years, the City of Homestead has been supporting a Relay for Life event in their community. Each year, the City of Homestead provides locations for our meetings and fundraisers, logistical and financial support, committee members, and a strong team of their own. The Homestead Police Department provides both a protected venue as well as their company vehicle, which serves as a safe and secure location for our accounting chairs and committee members to complete their tasks. The Relay for Life of Homestead volunteers and teams sincerely appreciate the support of the City of Homestead, Mayor Stephen Bateman, Vice Mayor and cancer survivor Judy Waldman, the event chair and City of Homestead employee Christy Thompson-Rivas, the City Council, and the entire City of Homestead make available to the American Cancer Society's fundraising efforts. We look forward to your support of the 2011 Relay for Life being held April 29th to 30th, 2011 at Homestead Hospital. Our event chair this year is Michael Hitt, and he's a longtime Homestead resident and a City of Homestead employee. As the community representative for the City of Homestead, I'm very proud and honored to be here presenting this award to you guys, the Community Partner Award, City of Homestead, in recognition of your commitment to our mission to eliminate cancer through research, education, advocacy, and service, Miami-Dade Unit 2009 to 2010. Thank you.
Michael's taken on a huge job as chairperson of the Relay for Life. So we need to get out there and we need to help all volunteers. We need to do everything we can to do for you. He says, please.
So let's get a picture, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of Mayor and Council, thank you very much, Crystal, for that recognition. Now, gosh, it's getting so late. The Children's Art Gallery, I'd like to ask Natalie to come forward, please. I'm just going to ask Natalie to talk a few minutes about what this month means to her, and then I have a proclamation to read.
Hello, I'm the Art Bog. I'm Natalie. I'm from the Children's Gallery and Art Center. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here. This is going to be very simple. On October 1st, President Barack Obama released a proclamation declaring October 2010 the National Month of the Arts and Humanities. What is the National Arts and Humanities Month? Held every October and coordinated by Americans for the Arts, the National Arts and Humanities Month is the largest annual celebration of the arts and humanities in the nation. From arts center open houses, to proclamations, to banners and media coverage, communities across the United States join together to recognize the importance of arts and culture in our daily lives. We should celebrate it as well by partnering with our City Council, community leaders, arts and cultural organizations, school, businesses, and every person interested to host with us an arts festival in Losner Park next year, 2011, sometime in October, whenever you guys decide that is, the best time. This initiative would be very beneficial for our city in terms of revenues, tourism, and community participation. So I do invite everybody to join us. Since the month of October has been proclaimed by the President the month of the arts and humanities, and this represents an opportunity for every person that is involved in these type of activities to come forward and to join us, because I think this is going to be big for our city. Everybody is going to receive benefits from it, and Homestead will continue escalating, in a very nice place that we deserve in the nation, because we do exist. Everything is happening in Miami, it's happening in other places. We do have a lot of activities here, and we need public recognition, but we also need public participation. Without you guys, without the community, we cannot go very far. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you join us.
And as chair of the Tourism Committee, I will commit the Tourism Committee to helping you do this event next year along with CRA, and I hope that we can make it a huge success. I know we will with your help. I have a proclamation. The month of October has been recognized as National Arts and Humanities Month by thousands of arts and cultural organizations, communities, and states across the country, as well as by the White House and Congress for more than 2 decades. The arts and humanities embody much of the accumulated wisdom, intellect, and imagination of humankind. The arts and humanities enhance and enrich the lives of every American. The arts and humanities play a unique role in the lives of our families, our communities, and our country. The nonprofit arts industry also strengthens our economy by generating $166.2 billion in total economic activity annually, and by supporting the full-time equivalent of 5.7 million jobs. Now, therefore, Stephen C. Bateman, the mayor of the city of Homestead, hereby proclaims October as National Arts and Humanities Month. And Natalie, I commend you for all that you do. I encourage you. These pictures are from our Power Awareness Week, from the children that send in pictures, and I encourage you to get in line and put your pictures back up here again, okay? Thank you. So let's get a picture.
Okay. So here I brought 3 little pictures. I'm a very bad photographer, so you will have to excuse me. These are 3 huge paintings. We would like to donate one to the city. Here, better? To the city. So you guys, all of you, you have to come to the gallery and you have to choose. I'm going to leave here the 3 pictures. These are 7 feet by 7 feet. The name of one is abstract, one is Sunrise. The second huge painting's name is St. Valentine. And the third one is Green Morning. So I didn't bring it today because it's huge. And then I have 3 and you're going to get 1. So you have to come and decide, maybe, democratic vote or something, because they're pretty big. And I think that, the City Hall deserves something from us, since you guys are really, really supporting us in everything that we do, and we are very grateful, especially to you, Mrs. Wallman. We're extremely grateful, and we want you to come to the gallery and pick one. So it's for you. It's a gift to the city.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Don't forget your proclamation.
Thank you. I take it?
Yeah, it's yours. Well, I've already picked my favorite. Next, and last, but very important, the Community Senior Idol. We had so much fun judging this 3 weeks in a row. Dr. Greer, I think, has already left, but he was one of the judges. Mayor Bateman, and of course Eric Wise from the Community Center was there. Excuse me. And I wanted to thank United Healthcare. Is anyone here from United Healthcare? For Jackie, why don't you come on up here? United Healthcare, along with the community senior staff, they decided to put this talent competition on this year, and it was for the very first time. There were 3 separate days, as I said before, where singers, dancers, and a variety of other acts came out to compete for the title of Senior Idol 2010. And I'm going to tell you what, there was some tough competition out there. On the final show, there were 2 winners chosen, one in the Senior Idol category and one in the Junior Idol category. And today, we would like to present Ellen Peaceman and Serena Strapa for their participation. I don't know if Serena, is Serena here? There she is. Come on up. Ellen sang the most beautiful song from Cats. It was just gorgeous. And Serena, I'm telling you what, you're going to rock, and you need to be on American, American Idol. You really do. She sang she's got the Sheryl Crow songs and Fly Like a Bird and all kinds of good stuff, and it was just great. And Ellen, you were fantastic. I liked your soul version too, a couple of weeks before, that New Orleans kind of taste that you had. But I just wanted to thank you, and I have a couple of certificates for you. Yeah. Oh, Carrie, get up here. I'm sorry. No, Carrie, get up here. I'm sorry. The heat's got to.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Be a team player now.
Carrie is wonderful. She's invisible at the community center. She's just everywhere, and you can't keep track of where she is because she's just everywhere. And because of that, I want to present Carrie with a certificate of appreciation. And of course, none of this would have happened without Miss Jackie. And she's the sweetest, the most loyal person in the whole world. We've been friends for about 32 years or something like that, you know. So anyway, we were only babies. But anyway, Jackie, I just want to give you this. Okay. So let's get a picture. And the next community event that we do, I'd love for Ellen and Serena to sing for us. We'll let you know when that's going to be. I'm sure it'll be some very soon. Why don't you mention? We have a special thing going on here.
Okay. Thanks. I just wanted to mention that October the 26th, the Palace Gardens, along with the community center, we're offering a free breakfast. It's at 10 a.m. Everyone is invited.
Thank you.
We left flyers back on the table. And the auction is coming up right after that. We've been getting donations all over town. Carrie and I have been going, and we want to thank everybody for all their donations. And all the proceeds goes to the American Cancer Society. And that's going to be Tuesday, October the 26th. So everybody come to breakfast.
And I'll be speaking at that breakfast, so please come out, and it's for breast cancer awareness. So thank you, Carrie. Oh, Carrie says everybody has to wear their pink shirts, and you notice I have on a pink suit tonight. So where's your pink? I'm
that day we have for a t-shirt. So they're going to make a donation. Yeah, go ahead.
For everybody that wears a pink shirt, there is going to be a donation made from the Palace. For all, yes, $5 per person that comes in with a pink shirt on.
I expect the guys to be shopping this week.
Okay, we get the picture.
I'm finished. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you to Lourdes for helping me. Thank you.
We have one more presentation, Government Finance Officer Association Distinguished Budget Presentation. Councilman Williams, I assume, is left, so I'm going to ask Councilman Shelley to give that, please.
I have the honor of being able to present this award. I believe it was presented to the City of Homestead, but more specifically to Elizabeth Manuel. This is the second time she's received this award. It's the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for preparing the budget in such a fine manner and such a professional manner. So with that, I'd like to invite her up here to receive this plaque. And this is for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2009. And again, it's with great honor I present this plaque to you on behalf for the City of Homestead, but also to you for the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please take the mic, please.
Mayor, Council, good evening. I want to present this to my peers, the City of Homestead employees, that without them, this was not possible. This is not mine. It was a group work And even though I didn't work with the budget this year, I know how hard it is and the effort that all the employees of the city does to complete this task to make this city, the city of Homestead, in the best one, and that they put the best effort to make this possible. So I want to give this to the city of Homestead employees because it was a conjunction effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That concludes our presentations for the evening. While we get settled in here, we'll move on to the consent agenda. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, item 7, public hearing ordinance, land use items. A, Richard, quasi-judicial.
Please be advised that the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment on these items, please indicate the item number you'd like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff has made their presentation on each item. Swearing in all testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish either to be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the council may request of the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of quasi-judicial procedures must be obtained from the clerk. According to Section 2591, a lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications concerning any items on the agenda. At this time, the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify on the quasi-judicial item.
Please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name, hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. You may be seated.
First item is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting a waiver of plat to Walgreens Company for the division of property totaling approximately 1.42 acres located in the southeast corner of Farm Life School Road and North Canal Drive, as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to move it. Second.
Second with a question, Mayor.
Okay, staff report.
Through the manager, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. This parcel came before you in the year 2008, in November, and it was approved for a larger subdivision. As we all know, and because of the economy, now the property owners wish to subdivide this further into 2 parcels. The resulting parcel that we're talking about here tonight is going to end up being a 1.42 acres parcel. It's located on the southeast corner of Farm Life, School Road, and North Canal on 328. The site plan will eventually house almost a 15,000 square foot pharmacy, Walgreens, with a drive-through facility. The zoning is the current zoning of the property is B2. It's consistent with the light commercial land use designation on the property. We had obviously the application review, the actual plat by a surveyor as required by the state law, and he found it compliant with Chapter 28. At this time, we're recommending approval subject to the two conditions outlined in my report, which were the result of the Development Review Committee actions that took place. One being that the applicant construct a lift station, and the second that FPNL power lines will have to be relocated at the applicant's sole expense. I would ask at this time, because the attorney brought it up to my attention earlier, that these two conditions did not make it to the actual resolution. I would ask at this time, as part of your, if you consider this for approval, that you add them under section 2 of said resolution. With that, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Questions from council?
I have a question there.
Please.
First of all, do we have any idea what I know Walgreens will be on one parcel, what the second parcel would be used for?
I don't know. Maybe the applicant is here tonight. They can probably address that.
And has there been a traffic study done? Because we've got that school there, and we have some terrible issues with traffic during the school hours. And I don't know if the school board ever even did a traffic study, because I don't know that they're required to do one or not.
They will be required to do a traffic impact study, and the results of that will be, whatever mitigation they have to make to do improvements on site or in the nearby intersections, they will have to front that cost.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, please.
Haven't we given them an extension, a one-year extension somewhere along the line?
Later on, if they don't proceed with the plan for...
We did give them one, didn't we?
Not that I believe, sir. No.
I know we gave the Publix one.
No, Publix pulled out altogether. We've given these people a one-year extension already. Because we voted on it in 2008, and here we are in 2010.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, I think we did give them an extension.
So how does this affect the extension, is my question. Does the extension still stop and they have to come back before us? Or does a new date kick in with the replatting here today?
The replatting here today will nullify whatever previous approval you gave them, because this is a new site plan that they will be undergoing review. So in essence, they are starting from scratch.
Mayor?
I personally support it and like it with the traffic study.
Yes.
I mean, to me, it's definitely economic impact at its best, but we need the traffic study. Simple as that.
It is part of the normal approval process that we follow, as you know, but if you like or feel more comfortable, you can add it as a third condition, just to make sure that the point gets carried through.
It's needed. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, please.
One other thing. This was voted on before originally, and I'm sorry if I cut somebody off, before you guys, originally I know I voted on this before you guys were here. And I know one of my concerns then was when the school was being built. And I didn't want to see this place become a hangout after school, when that school's full. So I don't know if we can put a condition in here now, or we wait, or when this condition would be. But I've got to see to be comfortable that there's some kind of security, some kind of enforcement where we don't have 200 kids hanging out in that parking lot after school, drinking soda, doing whatever it is they do. I was never real comfortable with it being there to begin with, but if it is the majority of this council will be there, I would like to see. And I don't know if that's something we add in tonight or when.
We could. We have done, council sometimes places that kind of condition in other type of uses when you anticipate need for future security. You can place something along the lines that in the event that the police department identifies a need for security, on-site security, due to the amount of students during certain hours, that the Walgreens will provide that specific need.
So this needs to come back for site plan approval before they build anything?
No, it wouldn't.
This is the time then to do the condition.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Do you want to make the motion, Dad? I'm sorry.
We'll go ahead and let her speak, and then when she finishes up, then
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add to the conversation that when it came before us in 2008, there was lengthy discussion about the lanes going out onto Campbell or onto Farm Life Road. So that was my question, which the attorney has just answered, is we had significant input at that time to be able to dictate or to give input, as to the entrance and the exit lanes, which at that time I don't think we could agree upon. And so I would like to have that discussion now if we're not going to be able to at a further time, because I think we compromised the first time around with what was existing before us, and so I want us to revisit that discussion now to ensure, because I think those entrance and exit lanes are going to be vital to coincide with the traffic that is being raised tonight from the school as a concern. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you may want to hear from the applicant at this point to see what their...
One more, no, it's council on the floor right now. Yes, Councilman Shelley.
My question is kind of similar then, because I'm trying to get a feel for where we are in the process. Because I was on planning and zoning, I think, when this came before us, and it was a Walgreens, and then they were going to have some out parcel stores, and they were going to have some out parcel stores in addition to. So I assume the Walgreens is the plat that they're trying to go forward with. The other one that they're separating off would have been the other out parcel. So
yes.
I guess, when you said that we start the site plan over, the process over now, this is starting everything over when they come for the replat. So are we actually going to be able to see another site plan, or they're going to carry forward those prior site plans to this plat? That's what I'm trying to...
They will be undergoing site plan review and approval administratively.
Okay, but it won't become before us?
It will not.
Administratively?
It will be handled.
Because at that time, you're going to deal with the ingress and egress that the Councilwoman Lobos was talking about, as well as the... Because the problem is I have no site plan here to make any feedback on. I'm trying... She's doing it from memory. I was on P&Z. I'm trying to do it from memory, but that was years ago. So I think if we're going to have that discussion, we really should have it in front of us to have the discussion, or make sure it comes back before us for the site plan instead of doing it administratively. I don't know procedurally how that would work.
It's within your period. If you wish that site plan comes before you at the time they're ready to move on with it, then I'll bring it before you.
That's what he's making what we're asking. The applicant.
So I'd be very comfortable with that, and also having a traffic study come forward at the same time. Because
it would not be coming before you if it didn't come with the traffic study and addressing the issues raised during...
I'm sure they've moved their building and some things around if their lot... I mean, I don't know where they were at, but I remember their lot being a little bit bigger originally than what they're doing now, and then they were going to stick a bank on an out parcel. Is what came before us originally, and I'd like to see what they're going to do now. I'm not comfortable in moving this forward tonight, so.
Yeah. Well, in order to move forward, they need this plat, because they can't build on this separate parcel unless it's subdivided. So this is the first step. If your wish is that I'll bring it back for site plan, that's what I'll do, and at that time, I'll make sure that beforehand, we'll address, mitigate in every way that we need to all the traffic concerns that you're speaking of.
Vice Mayor Waller.
Yes, I'm willing to go ahead and move this forward tonight with those exceptions, because I'm going to tell you that school, and I'm sure we can work it out, but that school is a nightmare. I mean, you have no idea. And when the mayor had the town hall meeting, those of you that were present, that was the major concern of the people in that community was the traffic.
Sure.
So, but they can't do that unless we move it forward tonight. They can't come back with the answers that we're asking for. Am I correct?
Correct.
So, I think, I don't know how others feel, but I'm not comfortable with having a discussion tonight, because I agree with my fellow council that we can't really discuss something until what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You've got to move forward before you get the information, before you can discuss. So that's my feeling, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Any further questions from council before I open it up to the public? Would the applicant like to say something before I open it up to the public? Okay. At this time, I'll open up to the public. And please come forward and state your name for the record, in opposition or against. And I'll say show for.
Kevin Sullivan, 1860 Southeast 6th Court, Homestead. I'm here tonight
and I didn't really realize this, but the development director, Sergio, has been very kind to bring me up to speed on it. My question is, and I remember very vividly standing here with my objections to this original development, and it was all about traffic turning lanes. And I believe, there again, not being a lawyer, I believe at the time I wanted a full turning lane on the eastbound side of, east heading side of North Canal. I believe the traffic engineer, who was very, very spellbinding with all his language, worked out an agreement where he had a half a turning lane or something. They use language that I'm not familiar with. But anyway, I'm asking you, because when that was brought forward, there was no school. And we all agree that the school has made this whole traffic situation worse. So please, let's look at what they're going to do, if they're having a turning lane, if they're not having a turning lane, because my whole purpose is I walked that neighborhood, and I didn't want to become a hood ornament.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone to speak in favor? Or opposed? Come on, yeah.
Good evening, Yvonne Knowles. I'm the Vice President of the Villages of Homestead's Overall Board, which represents, we serve at the pleasure of the Villages of Homestead Audubon, the townhomes, San Remo, and Lakeshore. And the number one question we're all hearing is, when is the expansion of North Canal going to occur from 2-lane to 4-lane? Because at this intersection of Farm Life Road, you have to the east, you have a 4-lane road, but as you go to Farm Life Road, which is where this Walgreens will occur, you're going right into a 2-lane, and it's a major problem right now with the addition coming of a Walgreens and people coming in there. We're really going to have a problem. So we would like to hear from the city, when do we have that 4-laning starting?
Yeah, that the manager can answer. We meet weekly on that, and he's got the dates.
Thank you.
Well, the starting date for construction for that portion that you're speaking of, which is west of 162nd Avenue, we just got word from the county that they are expecting to begin construction in February of this coming year. In February, late February is what they're saying. I'm probably thinking more like March, but they're saying late February that they will get that construction started. So it would probably, that construction will be probably ahead of...
But I think she's talking east of 162 to US 1, no?
East is completed already.
Okay.
So this is...
Just west. I'm sorry. I misspoke, Mayor. I apologize. It's east of Farm Life Road to US 1. But we were told originally it was going to occur in October. So is there a reason why it's now delayed till February?
Well, talking about 328.
328, exactly.
First phase, yeah.
328 from 162 to US 1, which would be going east.
Correct.
Is what I assume you're saying.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're talking about. Yes, that's what we're talking about. The county is basically, they waited for the beginning of the fiscal year to start the bidding process. So they're expecting a 3 to 4 month period to take place for this bidding process. So that's why they have the actual construction startup date on February of this coming year.
So I guess my next question is, have commitments been made so we know this is a fixed date, or are we going to slide again?
The county's running this project, so, I mean, we have to go by what they're telling us. And this is their latest date that they have in their transportation plan. That's how they have it listed, as February of this coming year.
I think, Mayor, this is going to be a major impact on this Walgreens, whether we can have a 4-lane road from US 1 to Farm Life Road, because right now it's a traffic nightmare just getting to the school.
And I appreciate your comments. Unfortunately, I believe that the school is bringing the real problem to light here. And I've met 2 times with Dade County on the site, and they really don't have any interest in doing anything to improve it. They have none. We talked about additional stacking lane, take those oak trees out, get an additional stacking lane in there. We talked about making angled parking where the nice oak trees are now in front of the school. There are actually 2 rows of them You could take one row out and have ample parking for all those people who park in villages and park in the median and park on the edge. Today I saw one of our officers out there, and he was writing as fast as he could because they were all parked up on the median because the school has absolutely nowhere for them to park. If you want to go see the principal or the teacher, you can't go because there's nowhere to park. So I think we need to address Dade County School Board. We need to go to them and say, enough. Don't put another layer above it until you fix the parking problem. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Clara Waterman Powell, 2274 Southeast 27th Drive. I have two comments. Number one, when I lived in Boston about 30 years ago, I had grocery stores and drugstores on every corner from my apartment building. I'm almost getting there now. This is wonderful. Number two, as a former resident of Kendall, we had a property problem at 107th and 88th where the Publix shopping center was right next to a public school. And I remember sitting in their discussions about that. And they ended up, after the fact, building a berm and a fence that to protect the shopping center from the kids and the kids from the shopping center. If I was a parent and there was no berm, no fence, I'd go park in Walgreens and wait for my child. So we really need to make a moat around Walgreens. I'll be happy to have another choice to go. And what I also want to know, my husband's going to ask me, when is CVS coming across the corner? Thank you.
You're welcome. Any further public comments? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll close the public comments. The final comments from council. Yes, please, Mr.
Yeah, I have no problem with supporting the plat revision here, but again, I'll do so only that you guys are going to bring the site plan back to us for further discussion. So as long as that's the case, I'll support this tonight.
Any final comments?
I actually would like to see it deferred until we get some more information and do some more work through staff.
Okay, if you make a motion, that's fine.
I'll
Otherwise,
make a motion to
let's
defer it until we get more information from staff.
Do we have a second for that motion? There is no second for the motion, so it dies for lack of second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
No, Mr. Mayor, I think that there's some amendments that need to be made to the resolution. The one that Sergio...
Will you read the amendments for us, please?
Okay, so somebody needs to make a motion to amend the resolution
I'll make a motion.
to add the following conditions. One, that the property would be subject to site plan approval by the council. Number two, the property would be, at the time of site plan, that a traffic study would be provided. Number three, that a lift station would be provided by who, Sergio?
By the applicant.
Lift station would need to be provided by the developer. And number four, that the FP&L lines need to be moved at the expense of the developer.
And also what I offered up earlier, please.
Sorry.
And safety for the school.
Control the school children. Walgreens is responsible.
The time to really do is when they come back for site plan approval, then you can put whatever conditions relating to the operation of the property. These are things that relate to the development. When the site plan comes back, you can put those normal conditions, that we could require a police officer at the request of our police department.
That's right.
So somebody needs to make the motion to amend the resolution.
I make a motion.
I'll second it. Roll call.
This is on the amendment.
On the amendment.
Councilman Maldonado,
Yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Councilman Vice Mayor Warman,
Yes.
Councilman Burgess,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nobles,
Yes.
Mayor Bateman.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Now we'll vote on the
Motion as amended.
As amended.
Perfect.
Roll call vote.
Councilman Burgess,
No.
Councilwoman Nobles,
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado,
Yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Warman,
Yes.
Mayor Bateman.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tab 14, second reading, Richard.
An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, considering the request of Homestead Land Trust 14 for rezoning from multifamily district R3 to restricted retail district, commercial district B1 for property located at 312th Street, Campbell Drive, legally described in A and providing for an effective date. This is second reading and public hearing.
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Staff report?
Yes, through the manager. Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, this application is very simple. It's just the rezoning that's coming before you as a result of a previous decision you made on the land use decision a couple of months ago when we changed the land use designation of this property to light commercial. The current property in question is zone R3. They're asking for a B1 district. There is no site plan attached. There is no plans at this time by the applicant as to what this is going to end up being. They just wanted to change it so that because the economy is calling for a different trend in that general area. It's pretty much 600 feet from Campbell Drive, and it's a much better used and district, having a commercial as opposed to the original R3 multifamily type development that you could have seen there before this. So with that, we're recommending approval. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to entertain.
Okay. Council? No questions? I'll open it up to the public. Any questions from the public? Hearing no questions, seeing no questions, I'll close the public hearing. Any final questions from council? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wallman?
Yes.
Councilman Berger?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, City Attorney, Legislative Matters.
An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 23, Signs and Advertising, Article 3, Signs regarding display of community banners over designated rights-of-way, providing for severability, inclusion in the code, conflicts, and an effective date. Move second reading and public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Maldonado. Second?
Second the question.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Staff report?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, this item covers basically amendments to the code for items pertaining to banners across public right-of-ways, basically the banners that we put across Chrome Avenue, etc. So it's just fixing the code to put the provisions that are required for that.
Mr. Burgess?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
One of my questions is, and I know this is our second reading, and I've done a little more reading of it and talking to the attorneys. And one of the questions I have is, will the city have any discretion, control over what banners are put up, what nonprofits put banners up there, what their banners say and represent, because we do have some organizations that not everybody agrees with, and how do we tell one organization yes and another organization no?
If I may?
With this.
These particulars ban, these two locations that we're specifically speaking of are the banner that historically has come across Chrome Avenue and Campbell Drive, and the one on Southwest 4th and 6th Avenue, which is typically used for the Martin Luther King's parade in that instance. The others, as you have historically seen, advertise the rodeo and different types of city-sponsored type events throughout the year. The problem was that in the last revision, and this is why this is before you, in the last revision of the code, that was excluded from Chapter 23, because we wanted to be consistent with the way we always handled this type of banners for the different events that I just mentioned. The city kept on, putting them up. But outside what you have seen, to answer more specifically your question, we are not we're not allowing any more than your typical type event that you have historically seen. Now, to the degree that we can or cannot prevent some outfit from approaching the city and in terms of content and all that, that is something that at the time, if I have a question, if it's something moral or such, I will consult it with the attorneys, and we'll make a decision at the time.
I'd actually rather answer the question now because I don't want there to be any misconceptions about this. If the way the ordinance is written, if a nonprofit organization comes to us and meets the requirements, the city does not have the ability, this goes back to something we had previously, the city does not have the ability to say, well, we like what this one banner says and we don't like what that banner says. Then we end up in the middle of dealing with the content of it. And if an organization that you like or don't like, first of all, I understand totally why this is being done, but I just wanted to answer the question, which is that if someone comes to us with a banner that we don't like, then we're not going to have any discretion under this ordinance. I mean, obviously if there's profanity, we wouldn't put it up. But if it's an organization that perhaps is somewhat controversial, we will not have the ability to regulate the content of those banners or the organizations that are requesting it.
It's dangerous.
First Amendment right.
Very dangerous. We're back to the double flag issue.
I guess my question is, we're right back there, so my question to the, I guess through the chair to the attorney is, then what language do we put in there to fix this, or there is no fix?
There's nothing that those of you who were here a while ago understand that the city cannot get involved in regulating content. That's a First Amendment issue.
Mm-hmm.
So you either have to say, you know what, it's not been a problem in the past. There's a lot of good organizations that use this facility, the rodeo and the other things, and we'll take a chance. Or you have to say, we don't want to take the chance, and we're just not going to allow these banners. But you cannot get involved in regulation of content.
Question.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Does Dade County have the same provision? Because I know they have the flags on the turnpikes, and every time I'm in Miami, I see banners all over the place for different things.
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know whether those are just government-sponsored activities. Most of them that I see are, the answer is I don't know. I don't know how Dade County handles it. I don't know.
Well, if I may, I mean, that was pretty profound to have that question asked and answered. I can't imagine us not having banners, because that is the voice of the community, and it is the way that we let people know. I actually read the planning and zoning minutes, and I liked what Mr. Powell said about having banners east of the highway as well, because right now we're just concentrating on Campbell and Clone. But it is very, very concerning to me.
Julio was just mentioning to me, I mean, you could limit it to city-sponsored events, something like that, and then...
but the city has no money to sponsor events, so there you back into the same thing. I mean, it's, unless I guess a council person sponsored with a small sponsorship, could that be?
I mean, if you want us to, if you're concerned about the issue that's been raised, I would suggest that you defer this and let us try to come up with some options for you.
I would feel better.
As to how this might be, maybe city-sponsored events, maybe. I can't have a situation where the council is basically approving one banner and not approving another, because then we get back into the free speech issue. But perhaps we can limit it to city-sponsored events, or just come up with something else where we might be able to avoid that problem. We could look into Dade County and see what they do, but it seems like you need some options.
I'll make a motion to defer.
I'll second.
Been a motion to defer and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Just so that, through the manager, I need your permission to continue, because this, as I mentioned earlier, it was taken out of the language was taken out of the code in the last revision. And because the city has historically done this, we have continued it in the department to, advertise and use those very same locations. I need your consent to continue doing that throughout the deferment period, whatever that's going to be. In the event that there's a couple of events forthcoming now, and we normally advertise, so...
I think, Sergio, it would be better for this to be handled administratively, as opposed to asking the council to give you any kind of approval on this.
Okay.
Maybe as a...
Well, I wasn't because we're going to defer it, but can we open, even though we deferred it, can we open the public?
For Mr. Powell?
For him, yes, or you? Public
I don't know
comment.
about that.
Even though he is wearing a Chicago shirt.
Hello, Edward Powell, 2274 Southeast 27th Drive. As Mayor or Vice Mayor Waldman said during our planning and zoning, I basically said, well, you have the banner over Chrome, like the Little Angels have had their banner over there for the casino night and Halloween. First of all, you have to have $1 million worth of insurance over that highway. My thought was, plus, how many people go down Chrome live in Homestead? Some. Most of them are transient. Most of them are truckers. Most of them are visitors going to somewhere. If you look over at the east side, you look at the people coming off the turnpike onto Campbell. There's this school that's got a wall that's 100 feet long called Homestead Middle School. And like a lot of schools do, they hang banners on the side of the building. You have 1,000 people looking at that every day, coming off the turnpike, coming home from work, going down Campbell, east and west. The other possibility is the overpass on the turnpike. Many people put banners on those overpasses. So my suggestion is that get something on the east side, and I know Sergio was going to take a look at that as well, so maybe we could have something over on the east side. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We've motioned to defer, reconsider, workshop, or whatever.
We'll bring you back. We'll bring this back. We're going to do some research, and then we'll bring it back.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Item 16, please. The PBA contract.
Sorry with you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to read both of these together. They're two collective bargaining agreements. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for ratification of the collective bargaining agreement between the Dade County Police Benevolent Association lieutenants and the City of Homestead in effect from October 1st, 2010 through September 30th, 2012, authorizing the interim city manager to sign the collective bargaining agreement on behalf of the city, authorizing the interim city manager takes all actions necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement, providing for an effective date. The second item is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for ratification of the collective bargaining agreement between the Dade County Police Benevolent Association, police officers, detectives, and sergeants in the City of Homestead in effect from October 1st, 2010 through September 30th, 2012, authorizing the interim city manager to sign the collective bargaining agreement on behalf of the city, authorizing the interim city manager to take all actions necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement and providing for an effective date.
Motion.
Move it.
Second. Thank you, sir. Staff report. This was pretty interesting.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, what you have in front of you is a result of the negotiations that took place between the city manager's office and the PBA regarding the new contract, the new 2-year contract. Basically, we followed what was approved as the budget for this next year, which will be no COLA increases. We're also assuring that no layoffs for the first year. And those are really the two changes. Everything else in the contract remains the same from the previous years, and that applies to both of these agreements. They're identical in nature.
Well, the second year is no guarantee or guarantee?
There is no guarantee for the second year. If anything happens, we would have to go back and negotiate at that point.
Okay. Well, I just want to comment that I'm very pleased and very respective of the union. The union they usually always twist your arm or want to tweak a little bit for something, and I think they looked at the city's condition and they did the right thing, and I respect the PBA for that, and I appreciate the police officers, chief, stepping up and asking for virtually nothing, different from the year before. So please, I was at roll call this morning at 8. I told them, thanked them for it, and they gave them my opinion of how I feel about what they do for us and about this particular bargaining agreement here. So with that said, any further thing? Yes, sir.
Mayor, I'd like to add also that the negotiations were very friendly, very cooperative and efficient, and we really worked together on this, and I couldn't say any more praise for the way it was handled.
Thank you. That's ditto. I agree. It was very quiet. Any further questions from council? At this time, I'll open the public hearing to the public. Anyone would like to speak on behalf of this item, please come to the podium. Hearing none, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Final questions from council.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to mention one other thing in the agreement which I think is significant, which is called sort of a Me Too clause. And what it says is that there's no salary increase, but it also says that if there is an increase granted to members of the IBEW unit, then the PBA lieutenants and rank and file would get the same increase.
And what's so ironic about that is usually it's the other way around. I see West here now. Usually it's usually it's the other way around. It's Me Too on the police and not the opposite. But I guess they caught up with you and they're going to use your Me Too clause. But that's not a problem. Any further questions at all from council? I'll close the public hearing. Further questions from council? Hearing no further questions, we're going to vote on items 16 and 17 at the same time. Please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tab 19, resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving grant award from the Department of Energy and providing for an effective date.
Motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Staff report.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, this grant basically covers the replacement of AC units at the YMCA building. It's a $500,000 grant with no matching from the city, and we're asking for approval.
Oh, no problem. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. This is a grant that we worked very hard on. And when your council was in Washington, D.C., they scrambled to not lose this grant and move this grant from the future City Hall site to the YMCA. Call it what you want. We saved the money. That's federal dollars, $500,000 that'll be spent to retrofit those air conditioners units at the YMCA, of which we are about to enter into a long-term rental agreement with the YMCA so that they can raise the dollars they need to totally revamp that building, of which we own. So I think this is a great win. I know that Marlene Voker worked very hard on it. Kudos to her. Literally the book was this thick, and it took 8 months. So with that said, anything further from council? I'll open up the public hearing. Anything from the public?
Rocco Benedetto, owner of South Aid, 413 Northwest 13th Street, Homestead, Florida. I'd like to mention that I helped Ms. Volkert come up with the wording so that you guys were approved for the grant. So I'm not against the city of Homestead in any way. I spent a lot of weekends working also with the YMCA. I think it's very important that when the city of Homestead does move forward with this project, that a professional is brought in. I think that there's a lot of room to save a lot of money going with some green technologies. That was one of my biggest complaints with some of the other projects that didn't incorporate any green technologies. There's a lot of room for savings. So I'd like to express on the record that I think it's very important that you guys bring in some people, spend money on the front end, so that you get a good product on the back end.
Thank you, sir. Okay, if no further questions from the public, I'll close the public hearing. Now I'll do final questions from council. Hearing none, seeing none, final questions from council. Roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, moving right here to business from city manager.
We have one more resolution, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry?
The resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida,
Yes, I apologize.
authorizing the lease of Christmas decorations for the City of Homestead from Brandino Displays, Inc., pursuant to City Code 2411.1 exemption from public bidding, providing for an effective date.
Motion?
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
This, staff?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, we're recommending approval of the leasing agreement for the Christmas decorations. There will basically be a combination of pole decorations, decorations in front of the lake here in City Hall, and basically on the street lights along Campbell Drive, Chrome Avenue, and Southwest 4th Street, mirroring what we did last year. So basically the same type of arrangements. We're recommending approval of the leasing agreement with a new company that gave us a better price than the one that we used last year. And we've seen the products. The products are actually in display at the
Conference room.
at the council
City managers, conference room. Conference room.
Conference room. So they're there, and they're lit, so you can see them actually lit.
Really?
And basically, we're asking for approval to move forward with the leasing agreement.
Okay. Got the motion and second? Yes, discussion?
Yeah, one quick question. I noticed $4,800 for the tree in there, 25-foot tree decorated. Is that the one that's going to be out here at City Hall?
No, that would be at Losser Park.
Okay. So I was going to say,
City Hall,
we still getting a donation here, you think?
we're going to go with the electric department's going to put up the one.
Okay. Thank you. I was just wondering, but I know the past couple of years, we've been lucky enough to have a beautiful tree donated, and I know that we did open their contract back up for bid, so I was just wondering if we would be seeing another donation.
Well, we actually, we ran into some trouble with the trees because they would dry out and it could create like a fire hazard.
Yeah, okay.
But you have the lights on for so long a period, and really the tree is dying as the season goes on, and it's outdoors, so it gets hot during the day, so we were afraid of that.
All right, thank you.
Vice Mayor Wallman?
We resurrected the wire tree. I think, Wes, you helped us do that. Remember the old wire? That's the one you're talking about? Yeah, we resurrected that,
The ring.
the ring tree. So that's the one that they'll use, I'm sure.
Any further from questions from council? I'll open the public to public hearing. Any questions from the public? Hearing no questions from the public, I'll close the public hearing, and basically I'll roll call.
Councilwoman Noble?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Woolman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. City Manager, business?
No business.
Okay, City Attorney?
No business.
Councilman Williams, gone. Councilman Lobos?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to take this opportunity. I contacted the city manager's office, Mr. Brea, last week regarding an issue with San Remo Homes. They had contacted me. Other utility companies were out there doing some work, and they had left a little bit of a mess. And even though it wasn't a big area, it was causing some trouble because a lot of the foot traffic from the high school goes by, and so they were very concerned about that. I contacted the city manager's office, and within 2 days, we weren't pointing fingers. I mean, we did do a little bit of background search as to who was responsible for it, but that didn't stop them from going ahead and fixing the area. It was very small, and so I know it seems like a small project, but for them it was a big deal, and I send you a thank you along with your staff, and I just wanted to publicly say thank you, and we appreciate that. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Council Burgess?
Thank you, Mayor. One quick thing. Air Base Elementary School, fourth graders are looking for some support. They're trying to go green out there and literally do a planting of tree program. They're looking to raise about $285, and the program that they're looking to join is Fourth Grade Foresters of Florida is the name of the program, and it's put on by the South Dade Soil and Water Conservation District. So if there's any companies out there that would like to sponsor them, they're looking for sponsorship. They'd rather have a company that gets behind them and helps them than individuals, but I'm sure they would accept money from anybody. And they're looking to plant trees, and a lot of the students out there live in Homestead in the city limits. So each child, what happens is each child gets a seedling to take home, plant in his or her yard, and watch it grow as they grow. So it's a great program if anybody wants to get behind it. I know they'd be very appreciative, and they can contact through Air Base Elementary School to get the information on how to do it. One other thing, I was approached this evening by a resident over on the east side of town about about 4 years ago, I think about 5 years ago, the city put in a temporary sidewalk, and there's been some overgrowth on it, and it's getting to be a hazard. And I spoke to the department head and the city manager both, and they've agreed to go out there tomorrow and take care of that and make it a safe passage. So the city, so those residents that contacted me and those residents that sent word up through the contact, that should be taken care of bright and early tomorrow morning. So thank you to the department for being responsive, and Julio and his staff for making sure things are done correctly and safely here. So that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Burgess. Councilman Maldonado.
Thank you, Mayor. First issue, the Education Committee, we will be meeting tomorrow, October 21st, at 5:30 p.m. here at the council chambers. So if there's any resident or anyone who would like to join us, it will be tomorrow, 5:30. Second, I just want to make an announcement in reference to the Mass Academy of Homestead. They are now accepting applications for the next school year. So I want to make this announcement, so if there's anyone that you know that would like to put in an application, you could get it at, I don't know Mass Academy's website, but you could go to Dade County School Board website, and then there's a link there to the Mass Academy, and there you could get the application. So right now, the applications are available for next year at the Mass Academy at Homestead. One thing that I wanted to bring up in reference to the chief, I don't know if we could step up enforcement on 312th Street with speeding. Constantly when I leave my area or the Waterstone area, that street, I mean, I'm seeing cars fly by there. And so I know that there's been enforcement throughout the city, and I've seen that you guys have stepped it up, but I haven't seen any on 312th Street. And again, because it's such a long road, I think the people there have a heavy foot. And my concern is that there's going to be some type of traffic accident in the area because like I said, it's a long road, a lot of people just buzzing by there. So I just want to make you aware of that so that we can maybe take a look at it. And finally, I just want to make an announcement in reference to the Waterstone Grand, and I wanted to do this for the residents of Waterstone, just make this announcement. But this is Waterstone Residents Appreciation Day, this Saturday, October 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is for the residents of Waterstone, but I know a lot of Waterstone residents watch this channel, so we want to make them aware just in case they didn't get a flyer. Again, it's Saturday, October 23rd, which is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They said come join us for a day of fun, food, and entertainment as the Waterstone Master Association expresses its appreciation to our Waterstone residents. There will be free food and drinks, no alcohol, clown performance, bounce house, live DJ. There's new cars display on the local leadership. And also, tied into that, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they will be collecting donations, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. there at the Waterstone Clubhouse. And Councilwoman, Vice Mayor Judy Waldman will be joining me, and we will be there helping out in the process of collecting funds for cancer awareness. That's all for me. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Waldman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that we had our customer service workshop, and it was quite successful. We got a lot accomplished, I felt. And with all due respect, Mayor, I'd like to ask for because we really can't afford to wait to the next council meeting. And I'm sorry that I had to pull it from the CAL meeting because my mother was very sick and she was just coming home from the hospital. So I'm asking if we could maybe piggyback on the executive session next week and do a special call meeting, because if the suggestions that were made are to be implemented, we need to get moving on this so that we can start in January. So is that all right?
No objections. Any
Mayor?
objections at all? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll add it to the special call.
So it'll be 5:30. I think the executive session is at 4:30, Richard, so it would be 5:30 this coming Tuesday. So that would have to be posted pretty quickly. I wanted to give you a city manager update.
It's moving along very quickly. As of early next week, the council should receive the top 5, 6, 7 candidates, however many they pick. Julio's going right on, you know. So you will have your packages, and if you have any questions, I suggest that you go ahead and call Mr. Basinger, because he is open to any communication if you have questions. And then we have the November 3rd, where we all meet together, and it will be a public event. It's going to be at the Hampton Inn, and it will be posted. So November 3rd, we will have the candidates, and then November 4th will be the interview process, and there I believe it will be right on target if we choose somebody from that group. And they've had, Richard, what was it, over, I think about 80 applicants, or, well, 60 the last time we spoke to him, but he said he's received several more. So I would say approximately, well, I'll just say between 60 and 80 candidates, and 2 of these candidates are out-of-state candidates. They were coming in, who they think they're going to choose. They haven't told me exactly, but they said 2 may be out-of-state. So I thought that was good news, that we're moving ahead with that as quickly as possible. I wanted to give a quick parks report on the Roscoe Warren Park construction phase 1. The stormwater facilities have been installed. The decorative fencing installation has been started. They're working on the column footings. The entrance features have started. And the rough structure and the roof structure, 80%. Site surveying completed. Rough grading for inner streets and parking areas, about 30%. Rough grading for the pavilions, the grading for the walkways, and the removal of unsuitable materials have started. So excuse me, that's well on the way. With Park, the engineering for the bathrooms were approved at the Monday night's cow meeting. And now we can begin the bidding process, of course, and the bid award can be expected for the beginning of the next year. So we're on target there as well. It's moving along. Thank you, Dennis and Julio and the crew for taking care of that. The Freaky Friday Halloween event is Friday, October 29th, 6 to 9 p.m., and there's a lot of things going on that weekend, so we're going to have to spread them around, but it's going to be at the sports complex. There's going to be 2 haunted houses, one for the little kids, one for the older kids. I have a feeling that older kid one is going to be pretty scary. There's going to be kid rides, and Radio Disney will be present, and of course we'll have the candy in the trunks. So I'm sure many of us will be there to be a part of that, and it's free. It's free, and you can know that the candy will be safe, so I encourage everybody to come out. The number is 305-224-4570. And just a quick reminder, and again, thank you, Ed, for always being my hero and getting up there and talking about our Halloween party for the Angels. Let me tell you something, fundraising is getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And I beg you to help us help the children who aren't as lucky as a lot of the little kids that don't have mental or physical needs. So $50, October 30th, come out and wear your costume, get a prize. And last but not least, this will be my last time that I'll have to publicly speak about breast cancer awareness. I'm a breast cancer girl. I say survivor, but in the last 2 weeks I've had 2 dear breast cancer sisters, one 5 years out, one 8 years out, that metastasized to stage 4. And so you never know. You never know. We're all warriors. We keep fighting. And my heart was very touched by all the response from the Homestead Newsleader article that I wrote. And that was a very hard article. I don't know if you've read it or not, but I've had hundreds of people stop me in the grocery store and tell me that that they're taking their wives to get their mammogram, because they do them at Macy's now, you know, so you can go shopping and have dinner and have a mammogram. So why not? And I want to thank everybody who's worn their pink. I hope next year that we'll be able to be a little more active in the city. In the city of Miami and Dade County, they've really stepped up the game with the breast cancer awareness. But I beg you, call a friend, call your neighbor, tell your grocery store, the person checking you out. Just make sure everybody knows that it's time. You can save a life. Early detection saved my life, and I appreciate everything, absolutely everything that people are doing to help spread the word. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And I read the article. It was very touching, very moving. Again, Richard, I'm on the committee creating mode here. I'm very touched by the new Labor Relations Committee that Wes Copeland brought forward tonight. He wants to create, and I'm honored to chair that. But I'd like to ask you to create another one for me, Richard, which would be a Homestead Miami Speedway liaison. I've been talking with the track. The track would like to have that. The track would like to have someone on this council that they deal with on a regular basis to keep them informed, let them come to their meetings where they'll come back to us and keep us informed. And I would like that person to be Councilman Burgess. So if you'll get with Councilman Burgess and get the finites that they want. I had an individual conversation with Matt, and he's very interested in getting that moving forward quickly before this race, if at all possible. I don't know what size committee they want, but I know I'm sure he knows the ins and outs, and he can deal with you on that. All right. And also to Council Maldonado, I'd like to appoint you to the chair of League of Cities for this year. Mr. Burgess did a great job, an awesome job last year. He brought them to Homestead. We recently had the last meeting out at Homestead Air Force Base, and it was a great turnout. That was a great turnout. Also, too, I'd like to announce a business facade committee, not a committee, but a business facade of the month. I think the city's doing a great job of stepping up the landscape, cleaning up the thoroughfares, cleaning up the streets in the city. But I think we need to take it a step further, and we need to bring the local business up a notch. And with that, I would like, because Councilman Burgess chairs the beautification committee, I would like for you to try to start some type of monthly award program for the businesses who are doing a good job, and the ones that aren't, maybe you travel to them and get them involved in this program, where we reach out once a month to do something very minor but kind here at council for a job that they do, a job well done they do for landscape and facade, keeping the paint up, keeping the landscape up, keeping the place picked up. That really goes along with your committee that you chair now, and I think that would be really a positive impact on this community if you would take that on with your committee. You have a great committee, and put them to work in the city on trying to turn some of these businesses around that have let their landscape go to nothing.
I'd be glad to do it, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, with that said, motion for adjournment?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Yes.
All in favor? All right. All right.